Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming to the council meeting. We're going to go ahead and start. We're going to ask our Councilwoman, Ms. Harris, will you please give us our prayer?
Lord, we come before you this afternoon. Before I ask you for anything, I want to say hats off to our fire department on yesterday, oh God,
yes.
in the city of West Memphis.
Yes.
And we thank you right now, oh God, for what you're doing in West Memphis and what you're going to do, oh God. We bless your holy name today, God. We bless your holy name today, God. Continue to look on our firemen, God. Continue to look on our police officers, oh God. Continue to look on our sanitation workers, oh God. Continue to bless the city of West Memphis, God. Cover it with your blood. Lift it with your love, oh God. Wrap it in your mercy, oh God. Lord, save in the city of West Memphis, oh God. And look on this council board, oh God. You find anything in our hearts, take it out. Fill them over with your love. Fill them over with your word, oh God. Cover us with your blood, oh God. Give us that love that runs from heart to heart and breast to breast, oh God. Save in this city, oh God. Deliver in this city, oh God. Lord, make it a haven, oh God. Lord, we thank you right now, God. Look on the Lane family, oh God. Bless those peoples, God. Comfort them, oh God. Rock them in the cradle of your love. Look on Tracy Cat and his family, God. Look on them, oh God. Oh, you wrap your loving arms around them, oh God. Lord, we thank you right now for your mercy, God. Look on our school board, oh God. Lord, look on our school board. Let them make the right decision for our kids, oh God. Lord, we thank you right now, God. Look on the Magruder family, God. Glory to your name, Jesus. We bless you right now, God. It's in your hand, oh God, that we live and move and have our being. Saturate this place, Lord, with your presence, God. Cover it with your blood, Lord. Wrap it in your love, oh God. Save in this city, God. Deliver in this city, oh God. Let us be what you're calling for in these last and evil days. And we thank you right now, God, for your loving kindness and your tender mercy, oh God. Bless this city, God. Look on our mayor, God. Bless his visions, oh God. Cover him, God. Lift him, God. Encourage him, oh God. And we thank you right now, God, for your loving kindness and your tender mercy, because you sure been merciful, God. And we thank you right now. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Let us face the flag for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Bless you. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Clinton,
Present.
City Attorney Stevenson,
Here.
City Secretary Suter,
Here.
Councilmember Bruce, Councilmember Cat,
Here.
Councilmember Croon,
Here.
Councilmember Harris,
Here.
Councilmember Hope,
Here.
Councilmember Hutchison,
Here.
Councilmember Muhammad, Councilmember Monday, here. Councilmember Murray,
Here.
Councilmember Wheelers,
Here.
and that team.
We got 9 out of 10 present, so we do have a quorum. I'm going to ask for a motion and second to add the A&P and the Public Works bids to the agenda.
So moved.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? We sort of talked about it in pre-council. Anyone having a discussion more about those two bids? Hearing none, can I get a motion and second to refer them back?
So moved.
Second. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? It's referred back. Also, before we move to our minutes, I have just recognized we got a very special guest in the house, a good friend, as well as she's the Chamber Citizen of the Year. We got Representative Dr. Ferguson. Will you please come forward? Well, we just, you got so much going on and another session going on. There's some things that's going to probably be affecting all of us. So definitely, yes, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Mayor McClendon and the council. He was gracious enough to say I could have about 5 minutes to fill you in on what's going on with the state right now. As you probably know, we have a full session in odd years, but in the even years, we have a 30-day fiscal session. So we're in the middle of the fiscal session and appropriations right now. And the state's in great shape. We're projecting about 3% above of projected revenues. I just kind of wanted to give you a rundown of what we're doing in this session. The state has a balanced budget amendment, so we're required as a state to have a balanced budget, which is great compared to other states. We always are really in good fiscal positions. But in addition to having a balanced budget, we have something called revenue stabilization. And that's where we are right now. We call laying the RSA on the table. We finish the budget, we'll let it lay for 3 days, and then we'll come back and vote on it. And what that means is we put things in categories. We have A, B, and C categories. A is always funded. That's things like education, healthcare, all the essential services. B usually almost always gets funded, and then you have your C category, which gets funded if we have enough money. So that's the way we keep the budget balanced. We have about $6 billion in general revenue. Now, that's things like sales tax and income tax, all those kind of things. But the total budget is $26 billion. And that includes trust fund, retirement funds, and federal matching dollars, or just federal dollars in general. In other words, like the highway department, we put up 50%, they send us 50%. For Medicaid, they pay us 70%, we pay 30%. For Medicaid expansion, they pay 90%, we pay 10%. So that's where the additional above the $6 billion to $26 billion comes from, is a lot of federal funds or federal matching funds. 13% goes to higher ed. 32% goes to the Department of Human Services and the Arkansas Department of Health. 42% goes to public schools, and 2% for public safety. That's things like state troopers. And we did add an additional $7.3 million in additional funding for state trooper salaries this time because, as y'all have seen this last week with, the young man who died, our first responders, our policemen, all those people have really been on the front line and suffered. As part of that, we've also added $45 million in surplus funds to give $5,000 one-time payments to city and county policemen, state police and sheriff department people. So we need to, I'm sure your police chief will be aware of it. You have to request the funds, and they'll be available for people that, there's some qualifications for it, and he'll know those. You have to be a certified police officer. In other words, you have to have been to the police academy and those things. But it starts July 1st and ends January of next year. And so any new hire that's gone to the police academy or anything can also get the $5,000 one-time payment. So we did that to sort of reinforce all these first responders that, really we've had trouble hiring people in lots of areas, nursing, healthcare, there's trucking, there's, employment shortage all across the board. The infrastructure bill, it will be billions of dollars to the state. And one of the things we did this time, we passed a bill that requires legislative oversight of that money. A lot of states, the governor or DFNA will just be getting the money, but there won't be any oversight, so there won't be assurance of the distribution around the state being equitable. So we passed a bill that any infrastructure dollars have to have legislative oversight. So hopefully we'll get our share. And with that, Mayor McClendon and the other mayors in the county, we went to this infrastructure compact meeting. I guess you've seen the posts from the mayor and from other people at FedEx. And it's, we're hoping, with West being a border state, we have so many interstate problems. So we're trying to form a compact that will involve Tennessee, Mississippi, and Arkansas to do things like hopefully get a third bridge or add additional lanes to the interstate or increase the port capabilities, all of those kind of things. We have run into a little bit of a problem. We can't actually pass the bill to participate in the compact until we go back in session in January, but Mississippi and Tennessee are in session, and they've gotten some resistance because there's a eminent domain clause in it, but it's kind of a red herring because the highway department, port, all those people have trains. They have eminent domain anyway. So we may have to write saying that the eminent domain has to be it can't be with Compact, has to be with the agencies that it exists with now. So we're trying to write the bill, and fortunately, I think we'll benefit from what Mississippi and Tennessee are doing. A big problem, there are a lot of people with developmental disabilities that need additional help in home services and all of those kind of things. And we've had a huge wait list for people that are disabled to be able to access services. Some people have been on a list for 13 years before they could ever get help in the home or any of those kind of things. So we added $37 million to the DDS budget to get people off the wait list and help those people that are disabled get services in the home. We've continually tried to add money all the time to reduce the wait on the wait list and get people services. We also added an additional $7 million to hire 109 additional people to coordinate these teams for children and family services. And one of my biggest issues ever since I got elected was that you probably see it, we have all these silos of information. We have, like I talked to DH&S and I said, okay, so how many people that applied for Medicaid or SNAP or any of those services did you refer to workforce? All of last year, in the whole county, they referred 18 people. So there's no coordination between DHS and Workforce Services and all that. So so Senator Ingram and I did help Workforce Services get a $700 million grant to start coordinating those things. And then Kendra Phillips, I hope y'all will all meet her. She's delightful. She's Gloria Graham's granddaughter. And we hired her to coordinate a $150,000 CDC grant that we got because with Medicaid expansion, we've done a pretty good job of giving people access to health care, but we've not done a very good job of improving health outcomes. So we're trying to really address some of these social determinants of health to help people be healthier, whether it's transportation or they can't afford their medicine or, whatever their social issues that are keeping them from being able to access health care or live a healthier life or, control their diabetes, all those kind of things. I might say, one of the things I'm most proud of is that when I first got elected, the governor appointed me to the healthcare task force. And with that, we were able, our hospital had closed, and we were able to, because they were seeing 30% uncompensated care at the time. That's part of the reason the Methodist County Hospital closed. And of course, the county was great to support the tax to build a new hospital. But the main thing that's been able to allow them to stay in business, and every other rural hospital in the state, is that we voted to expand Medicaid under the Affordable Care Act. They have reduced their uncompensated care to 10%. So, you just can't run a hospital or a doctor's office or anything else when you've got 30 or 40% of people that pay nothing. So the Medicaid expansion's been, a big help to the state. I think we've only had one rural hospital closed in DeQueen since we passed Medicaid expansion, where you look at places like Georgia, I think they've had closed 34 rural hospitals. So that's the real difference. We also added $4 million for intensive in-home services. And the other thing, we've been putting about $50 million a year in teachers' health insurance. So we actually created a permanent appropriation to shore up the teacher insurance program because, teachers like policemen and everything else, we're just really struggling to keep teachers, especially after the pandemic. And I think the chamber was the first event I had been to in 2 years, so it's nice to see everybody in person again. But with that said, if you have questions, I'm glad to answer if you have time, or if you want to ask me later. Yeah.
Well, I
Yes.
have one quick question I'd
Sure.
like to ask. Of course, Children and Family Services. I think one of the problems also that's plaguing our community as well is adoption. And I think that's something that, one of the areas where more conversation needs to be, because that's the problem that they're having, finding parents to even adopt the kids today. And the reason I brought that up, because like I said, I've been in the midst of that because I did contract work with the state with Children and Family Services for years, and that's one of the main problems that you're having. A lot of the kids do not have places to go. And I think that
you need to start looking into, I'm just saying, assisting the families that you're actually placing the kids, because like I say, you don't have a lot of places to put them at this point in time.
Yeah, and we've done a lot of, I mean, nobody's more aware of that than I am. I was a guardian ad litem for a couple of foster children for about 6 years. And finally, out of just frustration with the system, I finally hired my own private attorney to represent the kids. So, I mean, I understand that's part of the reason I ran for office was my frustration with the foster care system and family court system. And we have done a lot of things to reform that and to give some relief to foster parents where, they can have some relief at some point. And they have really done a lot of things to help increase the adoption rate. Unfortunately, we don't see a lot of it here because we don't have Little Rock TV, but they do, have advertisements and things on the television for adoption events, and they really have done a lot of things to make the foster care system better. The 6 years that I worked with these two kids, I think I went through 7 caseworkers. And part of that's because they're so poorly paid, I mean, it's very emotionally draining to make that little money. But thank you, yes.
Dr. Ferguson,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
well, I wanted to say, first off, thank you for your service as mayor. Anytime I called you and needed you, you was always there for me, so I do really appreciate that. I got something quick I want to ask. I know you said about the $5,000 for the police officers. As you know, we have a little time trying to recruit officers, and we want to make sure we retain our great officers. So how soon could we start to pull at those dollars?
July 1st is the first time, but, and I really want you and the police chief to know, they're not just going to send it to you. You have to apply for it. So you need to be aware that it's coming. And like I said, it would also include anyone who's hired between July 1st and January that gets accredited.
Okay.
Right.
But yeah, I can get you the exact bill and more information
Thank you.
as we go
My
along.
question was very similar to Mayor McClinton's as far as timeline and everybody who is on the police force and who will be hired during that particular time will qualify for this money, and it's $5,000 per police officer. Is that right?
Right, it's $5,000. The way I read the bill, it's $5,000 for every police officer that's certified and meets certain qualifications. It's, they had to meet certain qualifications.
Do you know what some of those qualifications may be off the top of
Well,
your
other than
head?
certification, I'd have to go back and look at the bill. I'm not real sure. But it's also county sheriffs and deputy sheriffs, and it's $2,000 for state police.
2,000%.
Yeah.
Representative Ferguson,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, oh, yeah, Wayne, go ahead.
just a quick question. You say that those are proposed budget items, and they still have to be approved, right?
Well, I mean, it will
you-
almost definitely be approved. Well, like I said, Revenue Stabilization Act, it's what they call laid on the table. It's just a formality, really, to go back and vote on it. You just have to let it lay on the table 3 days, and then we'll go back Monday and vote on it.
Okay. Do you know where a common citizen can go to look at the changes that are coming up that have been voted on and approved?
The RSA, I can email it to you.
Okay.
I have a copy of it.
Also, could you email me that bill, the
Yeah.
bill number? Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
sure.
I have one
Oh,
question.
Yeah.
James, go ahead.
There's something your husband started several years ago when he was in legislative, it was our kids, and I don't know if any of y'all been involved with it or not, but our granddaughter was up till she's 18, and I hope that program's still in effect, and it is a very, very good program.
Yeah, CHIP's great. I mean, it's
Yep.
it's not only health care for children, but it's also dental care. As a
Exactly.
dentist, I was
Right.
always pleased to see that. Oh, yeah, Helen.
Okay. I was just thinking, do y'all ever think about putting anything in the budgets for our first responders in our fire department?
Well, I
We
will,
have problems getting firemen,
right, yeah. We do have a pretty large appropriation for fire department. I don't want to tell you what it is and tell you wrong, but I'll send the appropriation bill to
Okay.
the mayor, and he can send it to all of you all.
Thank you so much.
And one last question, I think, I'm
Yeah,
hoping this will be the
yeah,
last
Melanie.
one. The coordinated care teams that you mentioned, is that a separate bill, Dr. Ferguson, State Ferguson?
Yeah, well, what they're trying to do is, just like I said, we're trying to get rid of all these silos of information. We're trying to, make sure the right and the left end know what they're doing. There's so many different agencies that are involved. There's a health department, there's insurance, there's Medicaid, there's foster care. There are all these different agencies, so we're really hiring a coordinated team to try to come to the table together and coordinate all these services. I might add too, we're doing a pilot program that Woody Wheelis, the judge, has paid for out of the CDC grant that we got, and the website's called Find Help. And when you go to that website, I mean, what I found, I would go, and Kendra Phillips can train y'all on it. But what I found, like I would go to behavioral health and I would go, okay, so this person needs transportation or they need this. How do you know where to send them? And they pull out literally a composition book, or a Rolodex, so this Find Help website that we're standing up, and Kendra's helping coordinate that, it will not only coordinate government and public services, but church services, food banks, all those things. And not only does it coordinate them, but if you're an agency and you refer someone there, you get feedback whether they showed up. So it's a great website. We're hoping, one of the things that Medicaid is doing, and Medicaid expansion, like I said, trying to address these social determinants of health, we've created a new waiver that has not been fully approved by CMS yet, but it will. We're going to start these R homes that will be coordinated through hospitals, and their UAMS has a $91 million grant to hire community health workers. So that, people that really know the community and know the people can sit down and talk to them and talk about what their needs are. So we're hoping to coordinate all of that, and this Find Help website will help with that coordination.
Thank you, Representative.
Yeah, no, thank
you
y'all.
so
I
much.
appreciate it. If you have any questions afterwards, I think, Marco, if y'all don't have my personal email stuff, a lot of people here do, just let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion in a second first of all, Councilman Keck gave me his information for us, the corrections to the minutes in pre-council. I didn't hear any other corrections, so with that saying, can I get a motion in a second to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? The minutes are approved. We had no old business. New business, Ms. Muhammad.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rules and read R1 by title only.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? City Attorney?
A resolution expressing the willingness of the city of West Memphis to utilize federal aid funds for Big River Trail project.
Can I get a motion in a second to approve?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
I did have.
I wanted to ask,
Can we get somebody to explain that to us?
I wanted to ask what this was all about.
This,
Did you get it?
did she get a motion in a second?
Yeah, you got it.
All right. Paul, come on, it's the bike trail.
Question.
Good afternoon, Councilmember. This is for the next phase of trail work out in the Big River Park area. This phase will tie the trails into the levee. We still got some reviews and all to get through with the highway department, work with the railroad. The levee board has embraced this. They're going to, Rob Rash, he's going to even help us try to navigate through the getting across the railroad crossing on the levee there. But this will add about 6 more miles of trail. It'll tie back into the main-to-main trail. It'll give us greater visibility of our park ideal. When people are riding on the levee, when they're commuting through our community, they'll see more bike riders up there on the levee, which will bring more attention to the park. That's already one of our great tourist draws.
Has been that. So this is for an expansion?
Yes,
It's not for any kind of repairs or anything?
no,
like
sir, no,
that?
sir, no, sir. It's for
And where is it going to tie into the levee?
Well, it will tie into the levee on the south end where the main-to-main trail ties in. So that'll be just south of 55. And then it would go up to go north on the levee to the Dacus Road crossing, which
Right.
is close to the Marion city limits.
Right.
And then there'll be a trail out of the floodplain that ties onto the trails we got in the floodplain that'll connect to that as well.
Okay, cool.
All righty.
Ms.
Lorraine
Muhammad?
Muhammad. I want to ask here, I'm looking here at your bar graph, where it says construction of city projects. The preliminary engineering, the federal is 0%, city is 100%. Explain those figures. See it here in your.
Yeah, well, the preliminary engineering and the construction engineering will be paid for from our private partner that's also helping us with the match,
Okay, that's.
which is Big River Strategic Initiative.
All righty.
Yes.
Where
Yes,
it
there's no
says-
general fund money in this project.
Beautiful. Where it says construction engineering, is that the same thing? Will it be paid for out of our private partner?
Yes, ma'am.
That's all I have.
Yes, ma'am. This is the way we've done it in the previous phases. It's the same formula we've used in previous phases, but we've used our private partner to take care of the engineering and the match.
One quick question, Paul.
Yes, sir.
What's the ETA or the, to start and finish?
Yeah, I wish, my goal would be to try to get it started, this summer, but we got to get through these reviews with the highway department and the railroad, which, the highway department, they're used to our project, so, hopefully that'll go pretty smooth. Railroad's a little bit unknown. We've navigated through the process with them before, but, it's been a few years. But barring any unforeseen delays that way, maybe we'd get it underway late summer. That'd be best case scenario, obviously. And it's not a very big, long project, so once we get the go-ahead to go and we open the bids and the bids come in with under budget, with the budget money we have, then the actual construction part of it would not take very long. It's probably 6 weeks or, I'm guessing, but 6 weeks too much on construction time.
Thank you.
Councilman Cat?
Yes, Mr. Looker, if you could, and we talked the other day, can you touch on the in-kind services aspect of kind of what we've been seeing since the original project started? In-kind services where we do send personnel out and.
Yeah. So, and there's, most of the trail system is under the county jurisdiction. And Judge Wheelis and his road crews, they keep the area mowed. There's been, sometimes they have to send the road crews out there to clean off after the river comes up, sweep the trails off. Our city crews have went out there and helped with that as well.
But
it's-
financially, the city hasn't paid anything for any repairs. These are just things that we're doing, just once the water goes down, we go and get the trails ready for people to get on.
Within house, yeah. When we first started the project, as we all remember, we had a flood and it took out some of our work. But the city or the county wasn't asked to make those repairs. We went back and found some additional federal money to make those repairs. Since that time, we have had very minor issues, and each time we've tried to harden it in those areas where the river has gave us pressure. And then so after the flood, where it was up 6 months, I think 2019, which is the longest ever, we had about $10,000 in repairs and improvements. So it wasn't just repairing, it was improving. So the last year, the river didn't come up high enough to cause us any issues. So there wasn't anything like that the last 2 years, I believe. But we do have to clean up, and sometimes there's driftwood out there. But most of that's handled with the county. But Odell and Amanda's folks have went out there and helped as well.
Do you know where you can bring back a plan on that small section that we discussed that's giving you a bit of a problem at 28 feet? Is that something we can possibly look at in, say, 90 days to 6 months?
Well,
Not so much to fix, but just a plan to maybe address it.
we've got a plan to address it.
Okay.
But then it's like, getting our arms around paying for it.
Correct.
And I will tell you that at one time last year, the farmers were trying to, there was a team effort between the farmers, a couple of farmers, and the county, to where they would like to have some bigger drain pipes that go under the trail in that section. And so it was looking like we were probably going to take that part of the trail, the top of it off, put some bigger pipes in there, and that would have gave us a chance to possibly raise that up some. But that would give us some more user days, because that is the low point in the trail system, and that does keep West Memphians from you getting on the trail at Ponchos and being able to ride. They can still go to the bridge and get on, because we really can keep the trails open till it gets well above 30 feet. And some of them we even keep, once it starts to go over the roads, the county roads that have always been there, and right there at the 55 bridge, once it starts to get in there, we close everything down. But that's above 30 when that happens. Okay. And the roads don't disappear until about 34. And by that time, it's pretty much water everywhere. The actual area of what we call the park by the river is higher than areas back by the levee. Okay. So some of that ground is the last to go under, even though we've got a lot of water out there.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
If there's not anything else, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? It's approved. Mr. Clerk, will you get that resolution a number?
2269, 2269.
2269. First off, is it on? Yes, first let me say, I just want to explain something to, I guess our young leaders sitting on the front row. We have the junior leadership from the chamber, Miss Emily. Thank you for this great group of young people that I have had the honor to talk to. And what we're doing now as a state of the city, this is something that the mayor have to do every year, and we have to report that to the people of West Memphis. And I know we have an elected mayor. Will she raise her hand? Hey, how you doing, Mayor? I'm glad you gave me probably about 8 more years before you get the seat. Also, I know you got some proposed council people out there as well, so hopefully you all will be coming up here real soon to take over and close this out. I'm going to start with our state of the city. Members of the City Council, Mr. Clerk, Mr. City Attorney, and Mr. Treasurer, ladies and gentlemen, we are at a time that when I am statutorily and constitutionally required to present to you the state of the city address. I'm happy to report that the state of the city is strong. In 2021, during the second year of our pandemic, a record snowstorm, the highest inflation in decades, and the Hernando de Soto Bridge closure. With leadership from you and the members of the City Council, great department heads and outstanding employees, as a city, we weathered each storm, whether physically, metaphorically, and today, and we are stronger than ever. My administration have ushered in a new era of unprecedented economic expansion and job creation. Bold actions in creating diversity, safer streets, cleaner neighborhoods, historic investments in quality of life, capital investment, and infrastructure, all while maintaining fiscal responsibility and staying within the budget and not raising our sales taxes. As I'm sure is each of your testimony, I love this city. I truly love this city, and I feel blessed to have the privilege to work with people with the city of West Memphis. Through God's grace, a team of talented department heads, a family of dedicated city family members, and a city council that has shown the willingness to embrace the vision that the great people of West Memphis elected me to implement. We have been able to usher in a new era of change for West Memphis. We are on a winning streak, and we can't slow down now. As many of you may have heard me say, when I walk in City Hall, each day I ask God to decrease me, and He increasing me, He becomes mayor. I'm just a vice mayor or the vessel that He used to speak through, and let His will be done, and I surrender to His will. I knew from day one that my job was to get up every day and work to implement vision that the people of our city have embraced, and the mandate that have made given each of us and their elected officials. The mandate to keep them safe, clean the city, create, improve our parks and our neighborhoods, to reimagine that West Memphis can be, while changing the negative perceptions that some have on our city, to bring our city together and move it forward. In 3.5 years, we have accomplished much. We have recruited new leadership at the helm of our West Memphis Police Department that has brought in a new, fresh ideas and has implemented new technology, training, philosophy, and on recruiting and retaining high-caliber officers that is serving the city well. The department has implemented community policing, which focuses on bringing the community and the police department together to be proactive on preventing crime. I thank Tawana Bailey for her efforts in helping us start that. She's been doing that from how long? For the last couple of years to now. And I'm going to be proud that the municipal league to accept the awards that we have won for doing that. So I'm honored. Thank you, Tawana. In our public works department, the administration has demolished a record number of homes and houses that have been brought up on blight on our neighborhoods and business districts. Many of you are right down Broadway. You see the apartments across from Big Star on the east end, we tore them down. You see the apartment, the building that was on the railroad track on 8th Street, as well as the house in Shady Grove and all through our city in the trailer parks. They are being torn down to make our city look better. We have brought so much technology and equipment to the city. Like the one-arm loaders, the sanitation department make collections on our trash in our neighborhoods to be more efficient. My administration has implemented a new grass cutting program to improve the way neighborhoods look across our city. Starting this year, we will have our own grass cutting department that will start to go and cut down some of these dilapidated lots that have been forgotten for years in our community. That is what we are doing here to change our city. On our job creation, the last year numbers, we have seen more than $1 billion, let me say it again with a B, $1 billion of capital investment in our city while creating over 1,800 new paying jobs as I took office. A major expansion in Southland is scheduled to open this year. New and renovated schools, the recruitment of brands like Coca-Cola, Carvana, Chick-fil-A have added to the historic economic expansion. We have also committed millions to infrastructure, and we are making strides toward making broadband accessible to every home in this city. While my administration has made historic strides in moving our city forward, I believe that mayor's top job are to keep the city safe and to be good stewards of the city's finances. Mr. Kroon, thank you. Chairperson of the Budget Committee, just on February the 3rd, reported that our sales tax collection are 10% over last year's. Our city's 1.5 tax has been seeing a 13.3% increase. Our county tax collections have increased by 11.6%, and our A&P collections went up 102%. Additionally, we are targeted with our debt reduction, and our finance director is implementing aggressive capital improvement programs that we are actively planning for our future of our city. The state of finances in West Memphis is strong. We have been on a winning streak and accomplishing much during some tough times, but we have much more to do. This year, I will be putting forth plans to incentivize the buildings of new homes and neighborhoods, focusing on small business development, the continued revitalization of Broadway, bringing smart city technologies to our cities to further prepare us for the future. Finally, as you have known, I've had a series of town hall meetings and gathering a lot of input from citizens and many of you on this council. I will look forward again to bring a revised approach to how we can responsibly rebuild our police department, fire department, sanitation department, and all of the essential departments that we have in the city with the latest technology to keep us safe and in a world-class sport and bring a world-class sports and recreational complex for our youth that would attract visitors to West Memphis. Now, during these first 3 months that I have been mayor, we have done so much. But I look forward to running to make sure I get another 4 years so we can continue this trend. So thank you for supporting this vision that the people have elected me to implement. May God bless you, and may God bless our great city, the city of West Memphis.
Madam Clinton,
Yes, sir.
I have a question. I know you just give the address,
Sure.
but I didn't hear you mention anything about the kids program. Are we gonna have that again this year?
Hold on. I'm glad you asked that question because when I met with them earlier, what did I tell you all that we were doing this year? The summer job program is coming back this year.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to hiring some of these young people
Yeah, okay.
and putting them back to work. And I'm going to thank our sponsors because we already got sponsors and donations in already to make sure we can make that happen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Permission request. I need permission to sign a master customer agreement between Motorola Solutions and the customer, which is the body cameras that we previously had approved, but see, the attorney had to go in with the contract and get some different things done, and we got all those things corrected, what his wishes felt that was good for the city. Excuse me. So, and of course, hold on.
Well, see, Councilperson Cat and I were just talking just briefly, and this may require a ordinance waiving competitive bidding if it's over it's 85,000. But I have, after not really much negotiation, quite frankly, they changed what I had requested to be changed. The problem was they terminated their previous attorney during the process, and so it took them a while to get somebody else to take up the changes that I had requested. But if it hasn't been bid out, which I don't think it has, that's probably something that would be required before the mayor signs it.
Council, I'd like for us to be able to go ahead and get the city attorney, get it drafted, get it on the agenda for our next meeting. Honestly, go ahead and read it out 3 times to allow as much flexibility between the negotiation aspect of it. That way we can get these body cams in here as quickly as possible.
And I just want to add to that, I know the procedure has to be taken possible, but the cameras that we was getting are the ones that works with our watch guard, what we already have. And if I'm not mistaken, we already had offers from other body cameras, but we had watch guard and already had the other information technology systems to be able to hold those cameras. That's the reason why it was lower anyway.
Oh, it's most definitely, this is the most cost-effective way for us to go.
Okay.
That we don't rehab the entire system. It's just, I don't want the auditors writing us up for something, and we can just go ahead and take care of it at our next council meeting.
Sure. All right. We're going down to committee reports. We're going to go with Public Works.
Yes, sir. Public Works met Tuesday of March 1st, Tuesday of this week. First of all, we discussed the overlay program, and I passed out to each council member a tentative list. And of course, Ms. Amanda said that it can be altered, edited, changed, added to, taken from. It's just tentative for you to review, and we'll discuss it a little bit later. And I think I've given each person a copy of that. We also discussed Rubicon service that we use. This is a service that we use to track the garbage collection. We can tell whether or not your garbage has been picked up if a customer calls in and say, my garbage was not picked up. We can look back on the tracking system and see why it wasn't picked up, because there are certain factors that are involved in making sure it is picked up. You have to have it on the street. You have to have your carts faced a certain way. But this Rubicon service is a really good service that the city has been using now, I think, Ms. Hicks, for the past 3 years or 4 years. And it's a really, really good GPA tracking system that we have. Ms. Hicks, if you don't mind, will you come and explain a little bit about things that we discussed during our Public Works meeting as far as continuing with the service and what Ms. Paulina is doing to help save us money?
Sure. I'm no longer over that department, but I did begin the contracts with Rubicon, and that went through a procurement service at that time. I guess since it's not really my department, I didn't go any further. Mike, should the department head secure a contract from the procurement service?
I'm not sure what the question is, but,
Rubicon ends at the end of this month, our contract with them. They've
Uh-huh.
offered us another contract.
yeah, I haven't seen that, so
Don't have any.
I'm not
So I
aware
don't
of
think
that.
we'll do any motion on it today, but the numbers are out there, and
Right.
he has taken off the one route optimization. It has been a very good tool to utilize, to see where your sanitation workers are, what they're doing, what they picked up, why they didn't pick up something without you having to call them over the radio. Bonner actually, you know, he likes the equipment, he wants to renew the subscription. We just need to go through a few more steps just to get it approved by council, probably the 17th.
Well, I guess Mr. Bonner and
hopefully.
city attorney can get together.
Yeah, they can work that out.
And of course, the commission did approve for the city to continue to use it because it's such a good
It's
tracking
cheaper, it
device.
is. It's about half the price that we paid for the past 3 years. They've grown, so, you know, they're more wanted, so our price went down. But yeah, it's something that the city attorney will have to review.
City attorney, would you like for me to get with Mr. Bonner to let him know he needs to call you so contracts can be looked at?
Sure, you can let Mr. Bonner know he needs to call me.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Hicks. And also, thank you so very much. Also, we talked about picking up the leaves, the limbs, especially from the ice storm that we just had, and any other limbs and debris that you may need the city to pick up. Mr. Bonner was explaining to us that that pile has to be 10 by 6 by 3, and the reason for that is to keep from damaging the front end loader. If you have a pile bigger than that, it may be that it will not get picked up because the pile is too big. Now, he did say if you want to make more than one pile of that size, then you can. You can have 2 or 3 piles that's 10 by 6 by 3, and we most certainly don't want our front end loaders or anything of that nature to be damaged. Our fleet report was we have front end loaders, we have 3 operational, they're 9 down. Our rear end loaders, we have 4 operational, we're only using 2 right now, but they're not any down as of this report on March 1st. The one-arm bandit, we have 2 operational, we are using 1 right now, but they're not any down. The grapple trucks, we have 5 operationals, and we have 3 of them running at this particular time. Our recycling for the month was 12,000 tons. Our tires, we had 1,020 tires that were dumped and picked up. Of course, we had a lot of questions about that. A lot of those tires are dumped on the weekend, and of course, it's suspect that somebody from out of town or somewhere could be bringing. We don't know if this is true, but to have that many tires, especially on the weekend, I don't believe that we have that many residents in our city who will be taking that many tires to our city dump. So we're trying to discuss and look at ways to see if we can apprehend perpetrators who are bringing tires from out of town or from businesses or anything of that nature, because the services that we have down at the city shop on weekends is particularly for the citizens here in the city of West Memphis. Is there a solution? Don't know. We're just looking at things and trying to work out something where we can apprehend those who may be dumping tires here illegally. Of course, someone said that we have cameras up and down Broadway that can look at the tags, and the police officer can run, but who's going to do, who want to do all of that on the weekend? I don't know. But we had a really, really good report. I'd like to say we had a Black History program that honored our sanitation workers, our public works workers. They were not all able to come for whatever reasons they may have had. It was just such a pleasure to honor them, to let them know how much we care and appreciate them. Whatever reasons they had for not attending, that's their own personal reasons, and we're not here to judge anybody for any particular thing. The task was to honor them, and that's what we did. And most certainly they felt good receiving their certificates on the next day. And I think, unless Mr. Wheelis, is there anything else? I think that basically ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Muhammad. We have Councilman Croom.
On the debris pickup, on the curb. Our truck, our Crown truck may not pick that up for a couple of weeks because they're working with the county to try to find a place to dispose of all of this, not only in our city, but in the Marion and all the other cities in the county. So if they pass it up, don't get upset. It'll be picked up. It just may take about a week or two. That's all I got.
Thank you. Just be patient.
Now, what
It'll
is
be
that
done.
group? Again?
The county is working with the outlying areas in the cities to pick up all this debris that's left over from the ice storm.
From the ice storm.
And as what happened to us today on West Cooper, the clamp truck, or curb truck came down, but they didn't pick it up. And the reason they didn't pick it up was because the county is gonna find a place to dispose of it. And once they find
Was the pile too big, or why
No.
did they pass by?
No, it's because they were told not to pick it up until we get the solution. And the mayor may know more about this than I do, but,
They're supposed to try to find a place to either dump it or have a burn pit.
That's what they're doing. We're looking at a place
Yeah,
to
about
get it
4 years
burned,
ago.
but we still have to pick up the original stuff that we pick up for the week anyway, so we just coordinating, the arrangement, get it done.
well, I mean, if it, as Ms. Mohammed said, have a little patience, because if it's on the curb for a week or two, don't get upset. It's gonna get picked up.
And we also discussed if there were any limbs that fell into the street itself, not on the person's property, but if you had big limbs due to the ice storm or whatever that fell directly into the streets, then that is the city's department to pick and clean that up and not to leave any debris where pedestrians or people that are traveling may have to walk or ride over it in their car. So if you have a lot of limbs that's lying outside in the street, please call the city sanitation department and let them know so they can come out and clean that up.
That completes your report? All right, we're gonna ask A and P, they get out.
Yes, Mayor. A&P met on February 16th. Obviously, we always report a month behind because of, minutes. Council, you should have a copy in your email. I won't read every word, just a few highlights. As we always report the minutes. Reappointment was Ms. Shauna Reinhardt was reappointed. Financial reports given by Mr. Jim Jackson. He also reported that he spoke with Tori Perry, West Memphis Finance Director, about the possibility of investing $250,000 every quarter to total $1 million in addition to what has already been invested. That motion was approved and passed. Old business included the warehouse space bids that we've been talking about for quite some time now. Civic complex sign bids, that's noted. The Anderson Sign Company came in as the lowest bid. Commissioner Scott Ferguson made a motion to accept that bid. It was passed. COVID incentive updates were given. Jim Jackson gave an update on the vaccination incentive, and that 4 people qualified for the 1,000 incentive. Checks were made to the 4 qualifying people, and those individuals received them. In addition to old business, West Memphis Festival, possibility of working with the group Levitt Shell. That's a part of what we discussed under old business. As well, small restaurant assistance program. Jim Jackson reviewed the program guidelines, hoping that we can pick 10 restaurants to give up to $5,000 each, equaling out to $50,000. New business. West Memphis Chamber of Commerce 2022 contract was discussed. Mississippi River Monsters Catfish Tournament. Jim Jackson reminded the commission of the annual tournament. The commissioner, Scott Ferguson, made the motion to present the sponsorship for the tournament up to $2,500. That was seconded by Commissioner Ryan Hart. Passed unanimously. The last thing would be the West Memphis Transit Matter proposal. Amanda Hicks, West Memphis MPO Director, informed the commission about when Matter was in West Memphis in the past, what they had been doing during the COVID pandemic, recently over in Memphis. Mike Stevenson, city attorney for West Memphis, expressed his concerns and reviewed the city statutes. A representative from Matter, Mr. John Lancaster, spoke and informed the commission of the different programs that Matter has currently running. After further discussion, the commission decided that we would table the discussion until further information was rendered. With no more business, the meeting was adjourned at 5:35, and that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman
Thank you.
Hutchinson. I'm very excited about the last part we talked about and being able to provide bus service back in West Memphis to be efficient, not just empty buses riding through the city, but having efficient service. There's going to be a great opportunity for the people who are really in need of that. Councilman Kroon, budget?
The Budget Committee met on February the 24th at noon, and we began the meeting without a quorum, but we did end up with a quorum before the meeting was over with. The review of the January 2022 revenue from the Southland Gaming and Racing was $530,892. A&P revenue was $192,432, and then the sales tax was combined revenue of $981,571. Then there were some topics of discussion that we did talk about, and one of them was the update and understanding of the CARES Act and the American Rescue Plan Act. Tory Perry was the one that kind of gave us a briefing, but I wanted to wait until our next meeting to go over it more thoroughly because we didn't have our complete budget committee there. Tory also presented a 75-page departmental accounts payable check issuance, which was emailed to all the budget committee members, and we discussed the disposition of the city's 2021 year-ending surplus. But after discussing this with Councilor Catt and taking his advice, we decided to wait until the year-end budget audit was completed, and which may be sometime around April of '22. Other items of discussion during this time was Councilor Catt briefly discussed upgrading the city's communication radio system to an AWIN, replacing the current possible obsolete system. The new system will improve interdepartmental communications and communications with the county and state agencies. The other discussion we had was improving the police and fire presence upon the completion of the Southland Casino Hotel, and the meeting was adjourned at 12:43 hours on that day, and that completes that report.
Thank you, Councilman Kroon. Was there any other committees that I may have left off? All right, not hearing none. I'm gonna ask you all, will you all give me add this to the agenda, give me a motion and a second to add Councilwoman Hutchins want to donate some of our charity funds, so can I get you all to add that to the agenda?
Make a motion, we had the request.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Councilwoman Hutchinson.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to give $1,000 to the Girl Scouts of America. 1,000 to Girl Scouts of America. Troop 3255, but I'll give that information to Ms. Story, but
Okay.
that's just at that time, that's what I'm doing.
All right. Was there any other council people that want to donate some of their funds at this time? Well, hearing none, Councilwoman Hutchinson, we hear a request. Can I get a motion and a second to approve?
So moved.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Thank you, Council.
Appointments we have for the utility department, we have Ms. Emily Scarborough. I think some of you all may know her. I don't really know who she is, but she's on the agenda. But you all have a resume, and what we normally do, we present at council for 2 weeks, and then at the next council meeting, they'll vote decide whether or not you're selected. So thank you. Second, Second on what, talking about the, Ms. Hutchinson? Okay.
Charity appropriation.
Okay. I had no presentations, announcements. Anyone have announcements?
I have one I'd like to make. April 9th, we're putting together, well, could Miss Emily and Miss Tawana Bailey stand? For a reason, I need y'all to stand. April the 9th, we're putting on, a group of us, we're putting on Vietnam era veteran program, April the 9th at the Civic Center here in West Memphis. I think it's 3 o'clock in the evening, right? 3 p.m. at the Eugene Woods Civic Center. Also, in conjunction with that, the Veteran Memorial Wall will be coming to Crossfield. It will start from the 7th of April through the 10th of April, so we kind of like working in conjunction with that as well. And what I wanted, the reason I asked the two of them to stand, they're part of the committee, and what we're asking, if you see those two and myself, if you have a name of a person that served during that era, we ask you to get their names and everything. You can get to Ms. Emily, Mr. Warner, myself, and we're gonna add them to our list, and we plan to do, which the state, they're gonna do certificate to pass out to the family member or whoever. So if y'all see either one of them and myself, you can just
Mr. Clerk,
give us the name.
what era you say?
Vietnam era.
What, I'm sorry, but what year?
It ended, I think it was June of 1975.
75.
Yeah, 75.
And
It started in 60, I hit it all wrote
It
down.
depends on when you want to look at it. If you want to look at
Well,
it, if you want to look at it, when
it's-
we sent advisors over there,
68.
yeah, it was back in the 50s.
58, but I think it started somewhere in the 60s.
67?
But we'll get all that, because we're gonna put a flyer out, we're gonna start working. We working now, but like I say, I just wanted to make that announcement. And I plan to make that announcement until, we, get it going. But I can say the Vietnam Veteran Wall, it will be coming to Crawfordsville. It'll be over at the old school. So actually, that'll be open 24 hours today, but we don't do our program just at the 9th at 3 p.m.
Question, have they made the old school library, kind of like a library and,
I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure. I haven't been over to take a look at it. We just met Monday and talked about this, so I'm not for sure. But I know it will be in that area 24 hours, and it's going to be from the 7th through the 9th. Now, here's another thing. The 5th through the 6th of April, they look for volunteers to come over to help set it up. And preferably, of course, we asked the question about youth group, but at the same time, they said they really need adults because the wall is pretty heavy. So, and if anyone here that wants to go and help set it up, they'll be more than happy to have you to come. On the 5th through the 6th, that's when they'll be setting it up. But the 7th through the 10th, when it actually open up, and it'll close like on Sunday at 1 p.m., at 2 p.m. But we'll continue to make this announcement. Plus, we're getting together, we're gonna put like a flyer together as well in the state. They'll be putting it on their website throughout the whole state of Arkansas.
Well, City Clerk Pulliam, Councilman Croom, Ms. Lang, and Mr. Johnson, I hope I'm not overlooking anyone that served in the military. Just want to say thank you all for your service. And Ms. Emily and Mr. Warner, y'all got a little more work to do.
They actually been working with us on our memorial program as well, so, we all appreciate it.
All right, thank you. I had two announcements I want to say. First off, we here in the city, and I'm really talking to my young people a lot. We're like a family. Sometimes we may not always agree on things, but I still consider us a family. All our departments as well as our city family members. I want to let you all know that Councilman Cat, who's to my left, he lost his mother. And any time that we have anyone that loses a family member, we just want to give our condolences and prayers to them, because we know that after they leave us, they still go home and still think about their loved ones. And we just want to know that we love them and we appreciate them, and we appreciate the person that they lost, because if it wasn't for his mom, he would not be here. So we just want to say, Councilman Cat, thank you. Thank you. You have our prayers and our sympathy as well. Also, yesterday, like Councilwoman Harris spoke about in her prayer, it was an amazing day for our city. We had an opportunity to honor a young man, and the reason why I'm telling you this, because he was not that much older than you are. He was 20 years old, and he was going to paramedic school, finishing up. This was his last week. This was really got it. This was his last week, and on the way to his training, he ended up seeing a 18-wheeler who jackknifed, and without twinkling of an eye, he just jumped out into service because that's who he was, and he went to help that individual. But another 18-wheeler came through and slid on some ice, and not only took his life, but actually hit the gentleman he was helping and took his life as well, and hit the trailer. So I'm also asking for prayers for the other gentleman's family as well, because we found out that he lost his life. But I can tell you one thing, Jason Lane's father told me if he can go out any other way, he would love to. That's the way he wanted to go out with serve. He just asked if we just could have kept him a little bit longer. And the way that our fire department sent him out, I was honored and proud to just be at the head with them gentlemen. And then when I seen their brothers and sisters walk in on the I would say my right or to their left, the police department, they stood as a family. It's like, Assistant Chief, we had what, almost the whole staff at the police department there, as well as the whole staff of the fire department. Then we had recruits, state people, county people, all of cities from all over the state that stood. It's a brother and sisterhood when it comes down to being a fireman, police, paramedic. So I'm just honored to be a part, and I thank all of you all. And I know you all would do it for each one of you all at any given time. So thank you all personally. Thank you. I have no more announcements. I have no citizen requests. Now, before I go, one quick thing. I just want you all to meet these young people that's on this front row. You all just stand up real quick and give your names.
My name is Amaya Jis.
My name is Maisha Gilbert.
My name is Aaliyah Burks.
My name is Sharon Booker.
My name is Markai Terrell.
My name is Carlise Ingram.
My name is Nicole Nelson.
My name is Madison Bird.
My name is Madison Harris.
My name is Ryan Monroe.
My name is Lindsay Almeida.
My name is Gabrielle Taylor.
My name is Kaylin Smith.
I told them earlier that they make up over 50% of our population, but they 100% of our future. Isn't our future bright? Now, thank you, because like I asked her, please let me hold on to the job for just another 4 years, and then we can talk about you getting it. So they elected the mayor, and they elected some city council people. So I'm going to ask you, Miss Nicole, will you come forward, come get in my seat, and Ward 4, Ward 5, where you all live at? Ward 5, South End, East End?
Who lives east of Rich Road?
Well, some of you all come up and take these seats.
West Martin. Not West.
West
Barton.
Barton.
Oh, Barton. West Barton. That's probably she need to do it.
Three. Ward 3. This guy right here.
Okay. Westwood. What about that? On what street?
West Jackson.
The apartment.
Yeah, that's it.
I want you to say I object.
You don't want to.
Where you live at? Oh, you live out, oh, you take my seat then, I ain't got no.
I got my purse on in your face. They can't see you because of the purse. I'm sorry.
Showtime.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I object.
Motion and second.
So moved.
Second.
Somebody said second.
Can I get a second to adjourn?
Second.
All right.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We adjourn.
Aye.